Every time I read a tragic novel, I get anxious for the heroine's useless mouth, wishing I could take over myself, but then I opened my eyes, and I really transmigrated into the tragic novel as the heroine. When I arrived, I was being strangled by the male lead. If it weren't for you drugging me, I wouldn't have married you, you vain woman, you don't love me at all, you just want my money. I reacted for 2 seconds, then suddenly delivered a sharp knee strike, slamming it right into his groin. Damn it, a cruel story is still a cruel story, and I'm the one torturing the male lead. Ji Chuan hunched over in pain, cold sweat pouring down his face, his bloodshot eyes glaring at me with a mix of fury and disbelief. Lu Wanji, I winced and dug my ear, spitting at him impatiently. Why are you yelling so loud? Did you smear your vocal cords with a laxative? The situation is a bit complicated. To put it simply, I've transmigrated into a book. Becoming the female lead in an old-school tragic romance who endures endless humiliation, Ji Chuan finally regained some composure. He slowly stood up, a cold smile tugging at the corner of his mouth, his entire face exuding a sinister aura. Finally can't pretend anymore. All this time pretending to be so gentle and understanding by my side, and now you've finally revealed your true self, haven't you? I couldn't care less about the original character's current heartbreak. Only brimming with a fierce desire to win, I gave him a light smile and said, my true self is your father, Ji Chuan. Ji Chuan flew into a rage, striding forward to grab my wrist with a cold glare. Lu Wanji, what are you pretending for? Did I hit a nerve? So you're getting angry? His hand clamped down on my wrist like a vice, pain shooting through me as I gasped. Unable to resist, I resorted to my old trick, delivering another fierce kick to his groin. The mighty CEO wasn't so mighty after all. He forgot his lesson and was once again struck in a vulnerable spot, collapsing in pain. Before I could say anything, a slender woman rushed in, shrieking, Chuan Gu, are you all right? I squinted at the suddenly appearing woman and realized it was Lu Xiaoxue, the female supporting character from the original story. Lu Xiaoxue was the illegitimate daughter of the female lead's father, born from an affair. Only after the female lead's mother passed away did Lu Xiaoxue's mother finally endure her hardships and ascend to glory, becoming the legitimate Mrs. Lu. Lu Xiaoxue was indeed beautiful, her eyes brimming with resentment and anger, tears glistening on her lashes as she glared at me. Sister, how could you hit Chuan Gu so hard? He is your husband. I chuckled scornfully. You know he's my husband. What business is it of yours if I hit my husband? Did you eat too much salt and get bored? Lu Xiaoxue's eyes flickered with a hint of surprise and suspicion. Sister, I know you're jealous because of my close relationship with Chuan Gu, but Chuan Gu was just helping me out, just helping me get a role. It was only then that I remembered my sister was still a minor celebrity. She had claimed the original owner's life-saving deed for Ji Yuchen, and to repay her, Ji Yuchen had practically granted her every wish. Pouring money into promoting her from an unknown 18-line actress to a recently rising flower, I sneered, with your acting skills, you're still acting. If it weren't for my husband pouring money into promoting you, you'd probably be ruining audiences in some random TV drama right now. Of course, my husband is also deeply guilty, allowing you to upgrade from ruining a small group of audiences to ruining audiences nationwide. What a sin. I don't know how good Luo Xiaoxue's acting is. But her tears certainly come on cue. Sister, I'm your own flesh and blood, you're being too harsh. I shrugged nonchalantly. Do I sound harsh? That's right, you don't deserve to hear anything nice. Before Luo Xiaoxue could react, Ji Yuzuan was already feeling sorry for her. Lu Wanji, don't bully Xiaoxue. It has nothing to do with her. If it weren't for your shamelessness in drugging me, the person I should have married would have been her. You owe her. Hearing this, I was filled with anger. I rolled up my sleeves and slapped him twice, then grabbed his tie and yanked it hard. Ji Yuchuan, you big idiot. Your brain seems to be sick. I've explained so many times that it wasn't me who drugged you. Do you have ears in your butt crack? You only listen to nonsense and not to what people say. Lu Xiaoxue frantically tried to pull my arm away in panic, but I kicked her, sending her sprawling. I let go of Ji Yuchuan's tie and grabbed Lu Xiaoxue's hair. You little mistress. Born from a senior mistress, really carry on the family tradition. Your mother being a mistress is bad enough, but you too. Why do you and your mother act like green-headed flies spotting dung whenever you see someone else's husband? In the original story, the male lead, Ji Yuchuan, was targeted by the sworn enemy of the Ji family and nearly burned to death. He barely escaped the fire with his life, but the head injury caused temporary blindness and amnesia. When he was wandering helplessly on the streets, terrified and lost, he was picked up by the female lead, Lu Wanji, who took care of him with great care. Just as his eyesight was restored, Lu Wanji suddenly disappeared. During his recovery, Ji Yutsuan's mind was not entirely clear, and he even forgot Lu Wanji's name. Despite searching everywhere, he could not find her, and from then on, Lu Wanji became the white moonlight in his heart. Not long after, the Ji and Lu families discussed a marriage alliance. The moment Lu Wanji saw him, she recognized him as the brother she had saved. Full of joy, she never expected that when it came to the marriage, Ji Yutsuan refused decisively. He declared that he already had someone he loved and would marry no one else in this lifetime. Disappointed but unwilling to force the matter, Lu Wanji did not press further. Unexpectedly, she and Ji Yutsuan were drugged, and a night of chaos ensued. Awakening to a room full of cameras, Ji Yutsuan had no choice but to reluctantly acknowledge the engagement to Lu Wanji, his face ashen. But after that incident, Ji Yuchen was convinced that Lu Wanji had drugged him, and he grew extremely disgusted with her. Adding fuel to the fire, the female antagonist Lu Xiaoxue stoked the flames, causing Ji Yuchen to become even more ruthless towards Lu Wanji. Eventually, Lu Wanji was utterly heartbroken and left the country. It was only then that Ji Yuchen regretted his actions and found himself in a desperate pursuit, akin to chasing his wife to the crematorium. After going through the entire plot and looking at the despicable couple in front of me, I couldn't help but twitch my mouth. They really are the epitome of absurdity. The female lead is also out of her mind. Can you just pick up any man off the street? Lu Xiaoxue couldn't keep up the act of being the delicate white lotus anymore. She struggled and screamed, "Shut up, Lu Wanji, this is what you owe me. We're both daughters of the same father, so why did you get all the adoration from the moment you were born, while my mother and I had to live in the shadows without any status? You and your dead mother stole the life that should have been mine and my mother's." Without a word, I slapped her twice. "What kind of filth is coming out of your mouth? It reeks. If you don't want to live in the shadows, then tell your mother not to be a mistress, interfering in other people's families while thinking the original wife owes you something. What kind of values are those? And you still want to be an actress? Don't you think the roles you play clash with your own character?" By this time, Ji Yuchuan had recovered. He quickly stepped forward, pulling me away and shouting, "If you have something to say, say it to me, don't hurt Xiaoxue." I raised my hand and slapped him twice across the face. "Fine, I'll come at you. I still have a lot of accounts to settle with you. You keep having delusions that I drugged you. How do you even think that up? I'm a beauty that makes fish sink and flowers hide, with suitors lining up from here to the North Pole. Do you really think I'd look at you? A Muslim kissing you would be breaking their vows. And I wouldn't even piss on you with diabetic urine because I'm afraid you'd taste something sweet, and yet you act so high and mighty. If I ever slept with you, it would be me losing out." Ji Yuchuan's face turned red. What did you say?" I waved my hand to interrupt him, quickly retrieving my phone. "No need to explain. No wonder you always wear your pants so tightly. Turns out you're still not confident." Before he could retort, I flipped my phone's screen around. "Hello. This is VCR. Please take a good look at who actually drugged you." The video was from a hidden surveillance angle. In the footage, a slender woman poured some unknown liquid into 2 water cups, looked around, and then quickly left. The camera caught a small part of her profile, and it was unmistakably Lu Xiaoxue, who was currently shedding tears like pear blossoms. The original owner had actually long since uncovered the truth and obtained the evidence. But she stubbornly refused to tell Ji Yutsuan, insisting on seeing just how far Ji Yutsuan would misunderstand her. What a stubborn mule. Not using your mouth is practically a crime. Ji Yutsuan stood there in disbelief, while Lu Xiaoxue frantically tried to snatch my phone away. "It's fake. This must be fake. Chuanggu, this must be something Lu Wanji forged. Chuanggu, believe me." I quickly snatched the phone away. It's easy to verify if it's real or fake by sending it to the Criminal Investigation Department. Don't think my brain is on the same level as the thing on your neck. Okay. Ji Yuchuan's worldview was shaken. He looked at me in confusion, then at Wan Xiaoxue. "Why, Xiaoxue, didn't you like me too? Why would you drug me and Lu Wanji?" I was so angry I laughed. "Seriously, bro? You're lucky you were born early when prenatal checks were less advanced. If it were now, you probably wouldn't even pass the 4-dimensional ultrasound." Obviously, Lu Xiaoxue wanted to drug you and herself, but by a twist of fate, I got caught in the crossfire. "Okay," I marveled, giving Ji Yuchuan a thorough once-over. "An unused brain is indeed simple. It would probably fetch $2 more if you sold it on the scale. Huh? Ji Yuchuan was too preoccupied to care about my rude remarks at the moment. He murmured, so it turns out I've been mistaken all along. It wasn't Lu Wanji who drugged me. His gaze drifted, landing on Lu Xiaoxue, who was trembling all over. Xiaoxue, how much more have you deceived me? Lu Xiaoxue was shaking like a leaf. He clutched Ji Yuchuan's arm tightly, sobbing pleadingly. Nothing else, Chuan Gu, it was only this one thing. I did it because I liked you so much. I just made a foolish mistake. I didn't expect an accident to happen. I was afraid you'd hate me. So I didn't tell you the truth. Really, Chuan Gu. Please forgive me. I didn't have time to watch this pair of lunatics act out a melodrama. I pursed my lips and turned to leave. I had a lot of things to do. Returning to a house under my name, I tidied myself up, changed into a fresh outfit, and arranged a meeting with a divorce lawyer, since we're already living the life of a tragic heroine in a melodrama. The obvious move is to get a divorce as quickly as possible to avoid being mistreated. The lawyer attentively listened to my thoughts. Used the materials I prepared to start dividing the assets, and drafted a clear and efficient divorce agreement. After carefully reading it, I nodded in satisfaction. Leaving empty-handed was out of the question. I wasn't about to suffer any losses. When it was over, the sky had already darkened. Seeing the hundreds of millions of assets, several luxury mansions, and luxury cars that belonged to me on the agreement, I grinned from ear to ear, happily returning home. I indulged in the high-end service of the massage bathtub in the ultra-luxurious bathroom. After changing into my pajamas and drying my hair, I walked into the bedroom feeling refreshed, only to be startled by a figure on the bed. Are you trying to scare me to death? What are you doing acting all mysterious in the middle of the night when you should be sleeping? Ji Yuchuan slowly raised his head to look at me. His gaze dark and unfathomable. Lu Wanji, it seems I really misunderstood you. He spoke softly. I rolled my eyes. Yes, dear, so you should be apologizing to me now, not pretending to be melancholic. Ji Yuchuan's lips moved slightly as he whispered, I'm sorry, before, I misunderstood you. Oh, I nodded. Got it. Here, this is for you. Sign it. I took out the divorce agreement I had already signed from my bag. I've already signed it. You can take your time to review the contents. If there are any issues, we can discuss them with our lawyers. If we can't reach an agreement, we'll go to court. Either way, I won't let myself be taken advantage of. Ji Yuchuan took it, but his fingers slowly clenched around it. He looked up, his narrow eyes showing faint red veins. You want a divorce from me? I widened my eyes. What else did you expect? His voice trembled slightly. I've already apologized to you. Why do you still want a divorce? I closed my eyes for a moment, speechless for a while. My goodness. Such a big deal with no official position at all. And, why should I, you ask? Why should you? Obviously, it's because I've had enough of you. I can't stand seeing you constantly flirting with my illegitimate sister. A man who doesn't love himself is like rotten cabbage. Does that make sense to you? Ji Yuchuan even seemed a bit wronged. Before, I misunderstood you, and I apologize. I can make it up to you in the future. As for Xiaoxue, although it's true that she framed you, I can't betray her because she's my savior, but I promise, I won't cross any lines with her. You'll always be Mrs. G, and she won't threaten your position. I almost forgot about this twist. Lu Xiaoxue had falsely claimed the original owner's life-saving deed for Ji Yuchuan. I thought about it and decided not to tell Ji Yuchuan the truth directly. After all, I still need to get a divorce. If Ji Yuchuan found out that I was actually his savior, getting a divorce would probably be impossible. No way. I don't want to live with such a clueless man. Besides, what is he trying to do? Hiding one at home and keeping another outside. Is that even human? Bro, you know what? Sometimes I really suspect that your brain and small intestine are swapped. Squeeze you and you'll shit from both ends. Ji Yuchuan is speechless. Don't you find it funny saying something like that? What makes you think you deserve two women? Do you think you're that handsome? Are the lice on you all double-lidded too? I spoke coldly. Sign the divorce papers quickly. If you don't, we'll go to court. No room for negotiation. After the divorce, you can do whatever you want to repay her. You can even pull out your intestines, tie them into a bow, and hang them around her neck if you want. Just stop nagging me. Ji Yuchuan's forehead veins throbbed, and he clenched his teeth. Lu Wanji. You have no heart. Then, in a fit of pique, he signed his name meticulously. Don't regret this. Even if you beg me in the future, I won't look back. I snatched the signed divorce agreement with a grin. There you go. You can rest easy now. Don't worry about that 5 million in your dreams anymore. See you around. Ji Chuan seemed furious, slamming the door as he left, the frame rattling loudly. Oh my goodness. But seeing the smoothly signed divorce agreement, I couldn't help but be overjoyed. Happily drifting off to sleep, there's a 30-day cooling-off period for divorce, during which I shopped, traveled, and had a great time. On the last day of the cooling-off period, Ji Yuchen ruined my good mood with a phone call, asking me to return for his grandfather's 70th birthday banquet. Why? I have no obligation to attend. If you don't come, I'll tear up the divorce agreement right away. The cooling-off period isn't over yet. If you come, I can go with you to get the divorce certificate right away. Damn, what a tempting offer. I quickly agreed and rushed to the Civil Affairs Bureau, efficiently handling the divorce. The moment I held the divorce certificate, I was overjoyed. Ji Yuchuan looked at me with a complicated expression. Are you really that happy to be divorced from me? I rolled my eyes inwardly. Don't worry about it. Just make sure to clear out all your stuff from the villa. The divorce agreement clearly states that the villa is mine. On the night of the banquet, I grumbled as I put on my most expensive gown, adorned myself with the priciest jewels, and wore the most luxurious makeup. Fine, I'll go, and I might as well finish venting my anger. I also hired 20 bodyguards, all retired armed police, with muscles so big they could punch out 10 Ji Yuchuans in one go. Confident and glittering with jewels, I arrived at the banquet venue, immediately drawing countless gazes. To be fair, as the heroine of the novel, the original owner's looks were indeed unparalleled. Unlike Lu Xiaoshua's pure and innocent style, Lu Wanji was radiant and poised, exuding elegance and nobility. Today, I dressed in a way that was both luxurious and captivating, making quite an impression. I walked straight to the front, my gaze fixed ahead. Grandpa Ji's eyes lit up when he saw me. Here comes my granddaughter-in-law. I gracefully stepped forward and presented him with the gift in my hand. It's just a small token of appreciation. Grandpa Ji accepted it with great delight. You're so thoughtful, my dear. Where's Ji Yutsuan? Why didn't he come with you? Just as I was about to speak, a commotion broke out at the entrance of the ceremony hall. Turning to look, I saw Ji Yuchen enter, accompanied by Lu Xiaoxue. Not bad. They do look quite compatible, both in appearance and intellect. From the crowd, murmurs of varying volumes could be heard. Young Master Ji isn't giving Lu Wanji any face at all. He's bringing the illegitimate daughter to Grandpa Lu's birthday banquet openly, stepping all over Lu Wanji's dignity. If you ask me, young Master Ji's taste isn't great. In terms of looks, figure, family background, and upbringing, Lu Wanji definitely outshines the illegitimate daughter. What's the point of parading an illegitimate daughter around like that? Just as Lu Xiaoxue stood before my grandfather and me, her arm linked with Ji Yutsuan's. Ji Yutsuan's expression was somewhat uneasy. Lu Xiaoxue, however, was quite poised as she presented a beautifully wrapped gift box to Grandpa Ji. Grandpa, I wish you a long and healthy life. May you live longer and prosper. Grandpa Ji's face was stern, and he didn't even glance at the gift, his gaze fixed solely on his beloved grandson. You rascal, what do you mean by this? Lu Xiaoxue, being ignored, felt quite awkward. Ji Yutsuan coughed lightly. Grandpa, Xiaoxue came to celebrate your birthday too. It's a kind gesture, and she put a lot of thought into choosing this gift. You should accept it. As Ji Yutsuan spoke, his eyes darted toward me, flickering with uncertainty. Lu Xiaoxue's eyes kept darting over, her expression one of smug satisfaction. I let out a cold laugh. Grandpa, you should just accept it. After all, this sister of mine might become your future granddaughter-in-law. Grandpa Ji angrily slammed his cane on the ground. He dares. I'm not dead yet. Grandpa Ji glared furiously at Ji Yuchen. You bring such a disgraceful creature to my birthday banquet. Do you want to kill me with anger? The Ji family has always upheld integrity. Who allowed you to bring around some random woman and act so recklessly? The surrounding voices also began to murmur. Exactly. They're all from prominent families, and reputation is so important. Yet here's a mistress brazenly stepping into the house. Has young Master Ji lost his mind? Lu Xiaoxue's face turned ashen. I'm not a mistress. Before anyone else could speak, I let out a snort of laughter, facing Lu Xiaoxue's furious glare. I composed my expression slightly. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I said seriously, I'd like to take this opportunity to clarify for everyone that my sister, Lu Xiaoxue, is indeed not a mistress. The hall erupted in commotion. Ji Yuchen's gaze darkened as he stared at me, lost in thought. After all, Ji Yuchen and I divorced this afternoon. The divorce certificate is still warm. Congratulations to everyone for receiving the first-hand news. Please forward it to your moments and invite 10 friends to help. Okay, Grandpa Ji shuddered. What? I blinked. I'm sorry, Grandpa. The main reason I came today was to clarify this. Ji Yuchen and I have amicably divorced. I won't be able to visit you often anymore. Grandpa Ji pointed shakily at Lu Xiaoxue. Is it because of this woman? No, Grandpa, my sister isn't a homewrecker. She just loves saving unhappy married men. What's wrong with that? I said with a smile. Her mother has the same business. Everyone should know that already. Haha, so I won't elaborate. Lu Xiaoxue's face fell, her complexion turning ashen. The usually gentle expression on her face revealed an uncontrollable venom, which she forced down, putting on a pitiful act of being on the verge of collapse. Sister, how can you say such things about me? You know how much I hate talking about my background. Why do you have to stab me in the heart? Sister, I know you can't choose your birth, so you chose to follow in your mother's footsteps, so I forgive you. Forgive you for not being able to rise above the mud. Don't thank me. It's really unnecessary. Lu Xiaoxue's teeth were chattering with anger, but she managed to keep up the act of innocence. Fine, it's my fault. Since sister can't bear to have me around, I'll just go die. Hearing this, I quickly took 2 steps back. No, why don't you find a bad day to die? That way, even a bad day becomes a good day. Laughter broke out among the crowd, and just as things were getting lively, another group entered the hall. I squinted to see who it was. My biological father and stepmother, along with a few of her eccentric relatives. I remember in the original story, this stepmother was all sweetness and kindness in public, but behind closed doors, she was as vicious as a tiger or a wolf. Her relatives were the cream of the crop when it came to oddballs, clinging to the Lu family like leeches. Lu Wanji. Lu Wanji's deceased father Lu Zhenghua would lose his head at the slightest whisper from his stepmother. Endlessly cleaning up the messes left by this family, Lu Zhenghua led the charge, striding forward in his fancy attire, his sharp eyes sweeping over the sobbing Lu Xiaoxue and the man named Ji Yuchuan standing beside her. Without a word, he raised his hand and slapped me across the face. Smack! The crisp sound of the slap echoed, and the entire room fell silent. After a while, Ning Exiner, Lu Xiaoxue's mother, covered her half-swollen cheek with disbelief, glaring at me. You dare to hit me? I shook my burning right hand. Who told you to not be able to control your husband? He wanted to hit me, so I had to strike first. Ning Exiner wouldn't let go, tugging at Lu Zhenghua's arm. Zhenghua, look at your daughter. She actually dares to hit me. I'm her mother. I was shocked. Nonsense. You're not my mother. My mother married my father properly, and I'm a legitimate child of marriage. Not some illegitimate daughter born from a homewrecker like you. Lu Zhenghua's face turned livid. And he shouted sternly, Lu Wanji, how dare you behave like this? I rolled my eyes. Old people's butts get loose, and their farts go boom. With a cheating father like you, what kind of propriety do you expect from me? Lu Zhenghua was so angry he clutched his chest and couldn't speak. Meanwhile, Zhao Shue's aunt chimed in with a sarcastic tone. Brother-in-law, is this the daughter of your first wife? Look at her outfit. TSK. She doesn't seem like a proper young lady at all. Not like our Zhao Shue, who's as pure as ice and jade. I covered my mouth and chuckled. This auntie here really has her vocal cords connected to her bladder. Every word out of her mouth stinks. At her age, she's still trying to sound sweet. TSK. I'm afraid she'll stick to the furnace when she's cremated. Her false eyelashes popped off in her anger, and her son chimed in again. Women like her aren't even allowed to eat at the table in our hometown. What kind of manners are those? I gave his hefty frame a once-over. Goodness, big brother, you must have been sneaking a lot of pig feed. While you're quite human-like, I still need to contact the slaughterhouse. Remember to check the mirror when the time comes to see if there's a purple stamp on your behind. You, after a round of verbal sparring back and forth, Grandpa Ji couldn't help but speak up. Ahem, everyone calm down. He looked at me. Today's incident is the fault of that scoundrel Ji Yuchen. I, an old man, apologize to you here, but don't keep talking about divorce. A young couple's life is bound to have its bumps and bruises. I'll definitely educate Ji Yuchen well and make sure he stays far away from shady characters. Ji Yuchuan didn't even bother to defend Lu Xiaoxue, merely turning his head away indifferently. I held on to Grandpa Ji's aged hand. Old man, I'm not acting out of spite. I really did get a divorce from him. I took out my phone and showed him the photo of the divorce certificate. There was no love, no respect, no trust between us, just a husband who blindly believed in a manipulative mistress. I won't endure such a life anymore. I'm afraid I won't be able to visit you often in the future, so please take care of your health. The photo of the divorce certificate was clear and undeniable. Grandpa Ji nearly lost his breath. You really got a divorce. Lu Zhenguo was also frantic, shouting curses. Good for nothing ingrate. The marriage between our two families is crucial for long-term business cooperation. How dare you talk about divorce so casually? Don't you consider the interests of the Lu family at all? I was extremely impatient. What does the Lu family's interests have to do with me? My mother is dead. Do you really expect me to keep selling my marriage for profit to support you, this cheating father, the interfering stepmother, and all these leeching relatives? Dream on. You think a few wrinkles make you a tiger or something? Jiu Chuan, who had been silent until now, suddenly spoke. Lu Wanji, I can give you a chance. I'll remarry you, as long as you beg me. I looked into Jiu Chuan's probing eyes and thought of the original plot of the book. Jiu Chuan believed that his savior and the woman of his dreams was Lu Zhaoxue, but as he spent more time with Lu Wanji, he found himself gradually falling for her. This led him into a torment of self-doubt. Am I a scumbag? How could I fall in love with two women? To alleviate his inner turmoil, he began to deceive himself, convincing himself daily that it was all an illusion concocted by Lu Wanji to deceive him. Thus, he escalated his torment and hurt towards Lu Wanji, deriving a perverse thrill from seeing her suffer and grieve for him. It wasn't until Lu Wanji left the country that he learned the truth and regretted his actions. Is this what they call a tempest of love and hate? For the sake of tormenting the female lead, any plot can be concocted. So, the Jiu Chuan in front of me has actually fallen in love with Lu Wanji, but after the divorce, he couldn't bear to let go. He's managed to console himself and now plans to give me a way out. Who agreed to that? I glanced up and down at him. Even my own father doesn't want me, so why would I bother picking up the trash like you? Lu Zhaoxue started her tea-like speech again. Sister, can you please not speak to Chuan Gu like that? He hasn't done anything wrong. Emotions are something that can't be forced. I let out a cold sneer. But you just have to show off, don't you? You can't stand not being the center of attention for a day. You'd probably want to lie right in the middle even at someone else's memorial service, wouldn't you? I glanced at the crowd present, the men in tailored suits and the women in elegant dresses, yet, the original owner of this body was humiliated and tormented by this very group, left heartbroken and scarred in every way. I can't stand this place for another second. I smiled faintly, looking at Jiu Chuan, whose expression was as calm as still water, and spoke softly. You've been protecting Wan Zhaoxue so much because she saved your life, right? Jiu Chuan's eyes suddenly lit up. Yes, so the reason you've been acting strange lately is because you're jealous, isn't it? Me and Zhaoxue, shoo. I extended my index finger to signal him to be quiet. I have something important to tell you. In the midst of Jiu Chen's puzzled gaze, I spoke loudly, word by word. Jiu Chen, back then, when you were ambushed by your enemies and nearly perished in the fire, your head suffered a severe blow, leading to blindness and memory loss, didn't it? Jiu Chen was taken aback. How do you know? Only Zhaoxue and I knew these details. Wan Zhaoxue's face turned pale, clearly realizing what I was about to say, and tried to step forward to stop me. Unfortunately, my mouth moved faster than my brain, and I was already well versed in this plot. You survived and wandered the streets, until a girl found you, took you in, and arranged for a doctor to treat you. Lu Zhaoxue was in a panic. Shut up. I ignored her and continued speaking on my own. The place she arranged for you was a small courtyard, filled with many roses. The female doctor who treated you had a slightly hoarse voice, and every time she applied medicine, she would say, raise your head, struggling to distinguish between front and back nasal sounds. Jiu Chuan's face grew increasingly pale. I spoke softly. Do you know why I know all this so clearly? Because the person who saved you back then wasn't Lu Zhaoxue at all. It was me. I quietly looked at him. I disappeared suddenly back then because my mother passed away unexpectedly. Wan Zhaoxue clenched her teeth tightly, forcing herself to remain calm as she grabbed Jiu Chuan's arm. No, Chuan Gu, don't believe her. It was me who saved you back then. And she only knows these things because I told her. Don't believe her. Jiu Chuan raised his hand and abruptly pushed Lu Zhaoxue away. His voice trembled as he looked at me, then at Lu Zhaoxue. Last time when we talked about the past and I mentioned the doctor who treated me, you said it was a man, but I clearly remember it was a female doctor, yet you told me I must have been confused and misremembered. I believed you. Lu Xiaoxue was already in a state of panic. It's a male doctor. Chuan Gu, didn't you say so? Back then, your head injury was too severe. And your memories were very blurry, you must have remembered wrong. I pulled a face in exasperation. Can't you be a bit more skillful at lying? I'm right here, and I can easily find the doctor who treated him at the time to confront him face to face. Be careful, or you might not even pass the livestock inspection with such stupidity. Lu Xiaoxue choked, unable to speak, only glaring viciously at me. Bitch, Lu Wanji. You're a bitch, why do you always have to take away my things? Took my dad, and now you want to take Chuan Gu too. I rolled my eyes dramatically. What thick skin, even mosquitoes would be afraid of breaking their mouths on it. Lu Xiaoxue clearly hated me to the core and lunged forward to hit me, but Ji Yuchuan grabbed her and slapped her hard across the face. He used so much force that Lu Xiaoxue lost her balance and fell to the ground. Ji Yuchuan's eyes were bloodshot, his voice trembling uncontrollably. So you've been lying to me all along. You've been lying to me. Lu Xiaoxue didn't dare to speak, while Lu Zhenghua stepped forward with a fawning smile. Son-in-law, Xiaoxue just loves you too much. What's wrong with loving someone? Let it go, don't hold it against her. I coolly interjected. Yes, what's wrong with loving someone? It's just about cheating and interfering in others' marriages. Whatever the father and mother teach, the daughter learns. Lu Zhenghua glared at me furiously, but I ignored him, feeling as if I had accomplished something monumental, and turned to walk out of the hall. Ji Yuchuan, however, left Lu Xiaoxue behind and quickly stepped forward, grabbing my arm. I'm sorry, I was deceived by Lu Xiaoxue before. I've always liked you. I quickly pulled my hand away. I hope you think twice before saying such hurtful things. Your affection is worthless to me, so keep it as a family heirloom. Lu Wanji, have you never loved me at all? Lu Wanji might have loved him, but I certainly haven't. I was instantly at a loss for words. Ji Yuchuan, however, seemed to see hope and grabbed my hand again. I knew you liked me too. The first time we met, you blushed as soon as you saw me. Your eyes don't lie. Even though I was unkind to you at the beginning of our marriage, you never got angry with me. Whenever I came home late from entertaining clients, you always left a light on for me and prepared a hangover soup. Stop, I interrupted his endless pleading. The past Lu Wanji truly loved you, but no amount of love can withstand repeated suspicion and harm. The current Lu Wanji no longer loves you. Put away your so-called deep feelings, they're worthless, Ji Yuchuan frantically explained, but I was deceived. There were too many misunderstandings between us. Now that the misunderstandings are cleared up, can't we start over? No, I calmly looked at him. I wonder why I knew all along that you had mistaken your savior but only revealed the truth now. Ji Yuchuan was stunned. I laughed and shook him off. Of course I was afraid you'd cling to me, refusing to divorce me once you found out. Now that we're divorced, I'm free, and you know the truth. Does it hurt? You deserve it. I feel disgusted just being associated with you, even a little. I turned and left, letting the chaos behind me boil like a pot of porridge. I heard news about Ji Yuchuan again a week later. Because Lu Xiaoxue had become famous, she had been in the entertainment industry for years, lacking a princess title but carrying a full set of princess ailments. In the crew, she bossed people around and threw tantrums, making the staff miserable. Coupled with her mediocre acting skills, she never managed to make any real splash. It wasn't until she impersonated Ji Yuchen's savior and his long-lost love, Bai Yueguang, that things changed. Ji Yuchen practically granted her every wish, paving the way for her career and investing in her projects, making her somewhat famous. But now, that bit of fame has become her death warrant. Ji Yuchen has declared a professional boycott, threatening anyone who gives her resources with becoming enemies of the Ji Corporation. He's also exposed all the dirty secrets he previously covered up, putting them on hot search. The audience won't accept her, and the industry dares not hire her. Lu Xiaoxue's career has collapsed into a pile of rubble. Meanwhile, Ji Yuchen is said to be a bit unhinged these days. He's constantly in a towering rage at the office, yelling at everyone he sees. Suspected of suffering from a condition akin to emotional runaway syndrome, he's been absent-minded and distracted at work, botching several major projects and nearly sending his grandfather to the hospital in anger. Ji Yuchuan's status as the heir is probably not going to hold up. The Ji family is large and prosperous, with many children, all of whom have been eyeing the position of heir. There are plenty of people who would take advantage of his weakness to finish him off. During this time, I wasn't idle either. I commissioned a private detective and managed to dig up some information. Damn it. It turns out that Lu Wanji's mother's sudden illness and death were indeed connected to Lu Xiaoxue and her mother, and even Lu Zhenghua was fully aware of it. I organized the evidence and submitted it to the police, watching with my own eyes as Lu Zhenghua and Ning Exaner were handcuffed and taken away in a police car. This can be regarded as an explanation from me, who has occupied her body, to the original owner. I hope her mother can rest in peace. And I also hope that she can find happiness in another time and space. On my way back to my own place from the Lu family home, I saw a familiar face at the door, my ex-husband, Ji Yuchuan. He seemed to have lost a lot of weight, wearing a black trench coat, standing dejectedly in the wind. I walked past him without a glance, but he grabbed my wrist. "You can't even spare a word for me." I plastered on a fake smile. "Long time no see. Ex-husband, how are your bowel movements lately?" Ji Yuchuan stared at me intently and suddenly spoke. "You're not actually Lu Wanji, are you?" Lu Wanji wouldn't say things like that. She's not so sharp-tongued, and she's much gentler, and she wouldn't treat me like this. Yes, Lu Wanji is gentle, polite, and well-mannered. So, how did you treat her? Ji Yuchuan slowly lowered his hand. On Grandpa's birthday, it was Lu Xiaoxue who told me to pretend to be close to her, saying that if you got jealous, you'd come back. I believed her. The day I found out it wasn't you who drugged me, I realized it. I confessed to Lu Xiaoxue that I had fallen in love with you, and I told her I would continue to support her career as repayment for her kindness. I wanted to live a good life with you, to make up for the past wrongs and hurts I caused you. She acted very understanding, saying she was willing to help me. I trusted her, but instead, I ended up losing you completely. Ji Yuchuan's eyes were red, on the verge of tears but not quite crying. "What's the point of showing me this?" I said coldly. "You've always known how Lu Wanji feels about you, and you've long since fallen for her too, but you refuse to admit to being fickle and indecisive, so you lash out in frustration, inflicting pain on Lu Wanji. You should have realized that Lu Xiaoxue isn't as kind and innocent as she seems, but you never trusted Lu Wanji from the start. You're arrogant, conceited, and self-important, believing that as long as Lu Wanji is guilty, then you are flawless." I looked at the disheveled man before me and spoke each word clearly. "Lu Wanji is dead. She was all alone in this world, thinking you were her only support, but you killed her yourself." Ji Yuchen fled in panic. A week later, Ji Yuchen's body was found in a small courtyard on the outskirts of the city. The news photos of the scene showed a garden filled with intertwined roses and wild weeds, lush and overgrown. Ji Yuchen lay there, the blood from his wrist soaking into the soil where the roses took root, desiring to be buried with an old friend, only to find a courtyard full of roses. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. I am the heroine of a crazy story. Transmigrated into the body of a 14-year-old girl, the girl made 4 dishes and a soup for her mother, only to be scolded. "Are you trying to get me to praise you, making so many dishes? Do you know what waste is?" I sent her flying with a swift kick. "Old hag, focusing on the dishes and forgetting about me. Drink some horse piss and you think you're high and mighty, but mess with me and you're in for a world of trouble." Next, I'm going crazy, monkey screeching. "I'm going to annihilate everyone. Look at the mess you call a meal. How could I have such a stupid daughter? You're utterly useless." The shrill female voice nearly shattered my eardrums. I looked down. A fragrant 4-course meal with soup was laid out on the table before me. Even the sole grapefruit had been sliced and placed in front of the woman. Just hearing her scream, I almost thought this daughter had done something terribly wicked. What? Didn't I just swing like a monkey at the wedding of the villainous male lead? How did I suddenly get transported here? I am a perennial guest star in various literary works of madness, specializing in standing out in all sorts of bizarre situations. In the recent tragic story, the male lead dug out my kidney, tortured my heart, and was about to marry my best friend. At the wedding, I was just about to give both the male lead and my best friend a big smack in the face, but I was suddenly transported in front of this mother. Do you know how much psychological damage a missed slap can cause to a deranged female lead? Still in a daze, the system's voice suddenly rang out. "Hello, host. Due to the overwhelming energy feedback regarding Gu Xiaomei's tragic fate, we have received it and issued a task to you. Your current mission is to move Gu Xiaomei's mother with love, thereby completing the redemption of Gu Xiaomei's fate." Memories belonging to this girl immediately flashed through my mind. The woman with a furrowed brow who kept scolding was none other than Gu Xiaomei's mother. From a young age, Gu Xiaomei was subjected to a suppressive style of education. As a result, Gu Xiaomei developed a people-pleasing personality, yet still had to endure her mother's daily scoldings. Scoring 99 on an exam, instead of praising her for the 99 points, she was scolded for losing that 1 point, after making a delicate birthday gift for her mother. Not only was she not thanked, but she was also scolded for not studying hard and wasting time on trivial things. A letter written to her mother, filled with habitual self-deprecating language. Her mother not only failed to reflect but also took pride in it. This meal took Gu Xiaomei an hour to prepare. It was a balanced mix of meat and vegetables, tailored to her mother's taste. Yet her mother scolded her for using up 2 days' worth of ingredients. Gu Xiaomei's face was filled with grievance. And she didn't eat a single bite, and this picky mother, on the other hand, was eating with her mouth full of grease, enjoying it immensely. It was the first time encountering such a bizarre request from the system. To have such a filial daughter was already a great blessing, yet, she was just as demanding as the mother, thinking that a more patient and saintly figure was needed to bring about change. Moreover, the heroine of a meltdown story only ends up cremated. How can she be redeemed? I asked the system, "Are you sure, really or not really?" The system repeatedly confirmed, "Really, really, you are the most patient and kind-hearted heroine of a saintly story, hand-picked by me from thousands." Before I could respond to the system, my mother held her phone up, almost pressing it against my face. "Are you deaf or mute? A useless thing that can't accomplish anything but only ruins everything. Come on, let me take a photo so the netizens can see how stupid you are." The system's voice reminded again, "Remember to move them with love. I believe in you, keep it up." I directly kicked her mother away. I held her head down and screamed wildly, "Just tell me if you're touched or not. If you dare to move, I'll beat you to death." Over the system's screams, I gave her another hook punch. Moved by his mother, he gave himself a perfect score for comprehension. The system's figure revealed itself halfway, frantically flipping through a book. Damn. I flipped the wrong book while slacking off. How did the saintly female lead turn into a crazy one? He turned his head as if consulting with other systems. "What should we do in this situation? Can it be undone?" Another voice was heard. "Yes, it can. Undoing it is usually not a problem." Then another system figure appeared, glancing in my direction. As a result, he turned and dissipated, warning the system, "Don't even think about canceling, just run, this sister is crazy." Both systems disappeared simultaneously, not leaving a single word behind. This mother, who could not tolerate her usually obedient daughter suddenly rebelling, spewed a stream of profanities. "Gu Xiaomei, you ungrateful wretch without a mother, are you out of your mind? How dare you hit me? I gave birth to you, raised you, and when you make a mistake, I scold you a bit. What's the big deal? Yet you dare to hit me." This woman, when she goes crazy, even berates herself. I yanked her hair. "Who do you think is wrong? Huh? If it were someone else's daughter cooking a meal, even the dogs on the street would boast about it. You ungrateful wretch, enjoying all this fortune yet not appreciating it. Where the hell is my Italian cannon?" She was spitting mad. "You think you're so great, huh? Want me to praise you? You cooked all the ingredients I gave you for a week, and you still have the nerve to say that." Before she could finish her rant, I curled my toes and grabbed the slipper off my foot. I shoved it right into her mouth. "Come, if you can't speak properly, I'll teach you. My daughter did a great job, but next time, make a little less. That should be enough to eat, and it will save you the effort." The slipper muffled her words completely. Her face was filled with shock, her eyes wide open. I pulled the slipper out. She screamed, "Wait until your father gets back." Before she could finish, I stuffed it in again. "Looks like you're not going to speak properly, so just shut up." She shook her head wildly once more. When I pulled my slipper out again, she was already retching repeatedly. Seeing the slipper poised in my hand, she reluctantly said, "It's not bad, but make less next time." I let her go, having probably experienced my brute strength. She got up dejectedly, muttering to herself. I didn't pay her any mind and sat down at the dining table. "Since you're so picky, then don't eat, remember. If you're going to find fault, don't accept their kindness." I ate with relish, chopsticks in one hand, bite after bite. She sat across from me, her eyes practically killing me. She was clearly craving it to death, yet still stubbornly refused to admit it. "It's not like it's anything good, who would even want it?" And after saying that, she couldn't help but take out her phone. "I'm posting all the videos online right now so everyone can scold you. Let the netizens judge who's right and who's wrong." Good news, The videos went viral as soon as they were posted. Bad news. They're all scolding her. Your child is only 14 years old and already cooks for you, balancing meat and vegetables. Yet you still scold them. Your daughter even places fried rice and fruit in front of you, and you still aren't satisfied. If my child cooked me such a meal, I would praise them endlessly. You truly don't deserve to be a mother. Unexpectedly. Even after seeing so many netizens speak up for justice, she still didn't think she was wrong. I even felt that the netizens were wrong. That night, I was in my room researching ways to return. I was determined to slap the male lead's big nose. Under the vast data, I unexpectedly stumbled upon my mother's video account. Netizens in the comments section tried their best to point out the issues in her education. She didn't reflect on herself at all. Instead, she took the opportunity to open a storefront and listed hundreds of items. She even taunted in the comments section, keep scolding, if you scold me into becoming an internet celebrity, I'd be delighted." Though she claimed not to care, she checked the comments 3,000 times a day. In truth, she cared deeply, breaking down every minute. At night, she nearly kicked the blanket to shreds. Even as a protagonist prone to madness, I can't comprehend the thoughts of such parents, who are even more abnormal than a mad protagonist, clearly caring about others' opinions, yet always convinced of their own innocence. Back and forth, she kept trying to justify herself, only to realize that her explanations contradicted each other. With so many people criticizing her, she initially planned to make her account private, but then she thought again and feared losing her chance to become an influencer. So she kept the account public, pinned the video, and waited for the netizens to come and criticize her. To save face, she posted dozens of videos claiming she didn't care, appearing to taunt the netizens. She was actually the most broken, following the example of others. She also did live streams at night, trying to whitewash her image. I was bored, playing with a water gun. When I opened the live stream and saw her getting blasted as soon as she went live, she even laughed and said, "It seems I've become famous, otherwise there wouldn't be so many people here." What do you know? I was teaching her how to behave. A bunch of trolls, but no matter how she explains it, netizens are not fools. She then shouted my name at the top of her lungs, demanding that I clear her name. The corresponding memories instantly surfaced in her mind. She had been scolded by netizens, and anger had built up inside her, so she vented it all on her daughter. Before the live broadcast, she had already used the tactic of moral blackmail, scolding her daughter to a point of utter humiliation, in front of the live broadcast camera. Another scene unfolded where the emperor isn't worried but the eunuchs are anxious, scolding netizens for meddling in other people's business. She spoke in a tone almost like an interrogation, questioning her daughter. "Yesterday, I said you made too much food and even posted a video online. Do you have any complaints?" The girl's voice was soft and weak. "No." She immediately raised her voice by several octaves, speaking in a tone that proclaimed herself the greatest victim in the world. "Look, you have no objections." The netizens are furious, saying I'm not fit to be a mother. Tell me yourself, am I fit to be your mother? Anyone with clear eyes could see the girl's distress. She couldn't bring herself to say she was fit, with her conscience torn to shreds, so she turned her head to hide the awkwardness in her eyes. "Actually, this isn't something I can decide." She continued to press her question. "I won't mention anything else, but tell me yourself, have I been good to you?" The question seemed casual, but her expression clearly said, "If you dare to lie, you're dead." Gu Xiaomei had no choice but to answer according to her wishes. "It's not bad." Her mother's face lit up with satisfaction and she continued to pour out her grievances. "I gave up my job to raise you since you were little, so of course I'm good to you. It's all because of you that I get scolded. If you don't feel grateful, you're no better than a white-eyed wolf." A moment of distraction brought me back to reality. My mom was pointing the camera at me. "Yesterday I said you made too much food and even filmed it to post online. Do you have any complaints?" I cleared my throat. "Since you're asking for my opinion, I'll share my opinion." "What exactly is my opinion?" "Well, it depends on what the opinion is. I've already mentioned a few opinions, and there are definitely more to come, but those will depend on the specific situation. So, that's my opinion for now." "Got it." So were the netizens, equally baffled. "Stop talking, or she'll really say it out loud. It's clear she has a lot of complaints. Her complaints are practically poking me in the face. Yet she hasn't even voiced them yet." It's clear that this generation of netizens is quite clever. Seeing that I hadn't given her the answer she wanted, she continued to press me. "The netizens say I'm not worthy to be your mother. Tell me yourself, am I worthy or not?" Hee, even her daughter's words, she doesn't get the final say, weren't enough for her to ponder over. Her brain probably only contains the belief that she is always right in the whole world, and nothing else. It seems I need to pull out the big guns. I put my hands on my hips. You're worthy, finally, it's what she wanted to hear. She grinned from ear to ear, ready to boast to the netizens. I continued, you deserve it, you deserve everything. Pig, dog, cow, horse, you name it. With this, you could break into the world's top 500. You're so versatile. You call everyone dad and mom. No one deserves it more than you. No one expected things to unfold this way. The netizens were in an uproar. Look how much pressure the kid is under. She's basically my internet mouthpiece. Finally, she's not the one being pushed around anymore. It's all because of his mom. Why are you cursing upstairs? Though you're absolutely right. Mom sat up abruptly. Do you have a conscience? I gave up work to raise you since you were young. Wasn't I good to you? Oh, such a big deal. What does the United Nations say about it? As everyone knows, adults still need to work even without children, while using morality to blackmail, all because of the child. Life is so miserable, it's torment for both myself and the child. I took a deep breath and unleashed a torrent of words at her. You're taking care of me. You know how young I was when you made me cook. That whole table of food. It wasn't something anyone could do without years of practice. All you do is preen in front of the camera. Have you ever really cared about taking care of the kids, me and my sister? Have either of us ever had a good life? Oh, but you really do treat my brother well. If you think I'm doing a bad job, then do it yourself. She was momentarily stumped by what I said, stammering for a long time. I'm doing this to train you. What's a girl supposed to do if she doesn't learn to cook? Your in-laws will definitely look down on you when you grow up. Humph, then I won't get married, with a mother like you. I've already had enough bad luck. Don't add insult to injury. What, do you really want me to get married just to boost the Grim Reaper's performance? Will I be in the fridge, the septic tank, but not in the world of the living? She grew more and more excited, gesturing wildly. Not getting married. Do you plan to live off your parents? I, as your mother, have done more than enough. What more do you want? If I thought you were failing, could I request to shoot you? I aimed my water gun at her head. Call me Brother Doe, or I'll knock your head open. She seemed stunned by my absurd behavior and reflexively called out, Brother Doe. I slammed the water gun onto her head with a loud bang. Even if you call me Brother Doe, I'll still knock your head open. After speaking, she flipped the switch, spraying water all over her face. She dodged while screaming loudly, Ah, I'm going crazy. The bullet screen went wild. Well done. It seems only a madman can defeat a madman. What madman? That's my Dogu. Call him Dogu, or I'll crack your head open, and I haven't finished. Call me, and I'll crack your head open too. Ha ha ha, this daughter doesn't play fair. Mom tearfully called Dad. On the phone, my father's voice was filled with full-blown anger. This damn girl, she's asking for a beating. Yes, I'm asking for it. I'm itching for a spanking. I'd like to see just how many more oddballs there are. Kill them all. As the door slammed shut, I shuddered. Then, memories of Sister Gu resurfaced. If there is an unreasonable person in a household, it means they have the tacit approval of the others. Gu Xiaomei's father, the sole breadwinner of the family, appears tall and imposing. In reality, he eats the meals prepared by Gu Xiaomei while constantly emphasizing that the others contribute nothing to the household. So, to demonstrate her own importance in the family, the mother frantically seeks validation through her daughter. She picks out all the flaws her father finds in her and repeats them on her daughter. This is the transfer of negative energy. People only bully those weaker than themselves. And Gu Xiaomei's younger brother, Gu Yaozu, who enjoyed all the family's pampering, the household chores were done by Gu Xiaomei and her sister, with their mother waiting on them. And gently chide Gu's younger sister, our family is already so happy. What more could you possibly be dissatisfied or unhappy about? Oh ho, what a bizarre family, perfect for me to go crazy in. Mom's live stream hadn't been turned off, and this dramatic scene attracted even more netizens to watch. Seeing my dad storming towards me in a rage, he pointed his finger at my nose, as if he was about to slap me at any moment. Is it easy for your mother, and you still want to upset her? I threw my hands up and started rapping, my expression cheeky. The wronged have their reasons. The debt has its debtor. Whoever finds it hard should make amends. Don't take regrets to the grave. If all else fails, hire a nanny. But I'm not that nanny. Dad's expression was one of disbelief, his face showing the look of someone possessed by a ghost. Gu Yaozu sneered with derision. So, what you're saying is, my mom isn't your mom anymore, huh? Tisk tsk, aren't you something? I smacked my lips. How smart you are, huh? Oh, my mom blinked, huh? Just withdrew a message from my mom. The bullet screen was filled with endless, ha ha ha, Buddha, you know, I was born with a natural smile. Buddha, what kind of wicked thing just flashed? King of hell, that's my performance glowing. I was just about to give him a slap. If you're enjoying the benefits of being a mama's boy, then just keep quiet, okay? Gu Yaozu wasn't about to back down. I'm still better than you. Better how? King of kings, ham sausage, 1 section stronger than 6, I want jello, 300 years, juzatang, bloating, acidity, stomach ulcers, treats kidney deficiency, sugar-free, I'm chi de long dong strong, oh, so that's what you mean by strong. Gu Yaozu completely lost his composure and charged at me. Are you out of your mind? I swung my arm and landed a solid hit. Mom cried out in distress, her heart aching for me. You little brat. I swung my arm and landed a solid hit. Dad rushed forward. Have you lost your mind? I swung my arm and delivered a sharp blow. The system's voice suddenly chimed in. Sis, take it easy. If you kill them, I'll have a hard time explaining. Get lost. Got it. All 3 of them looked shocked, as if they wanted to devour me. Somehow, a song popped into my mind, so I gestured and sang along. Dream tears hurt. A handsome face. Dream tears hurt. Ruling the canyon. Doing everything possible, guarding the crystal synthesis, just one chance. And the enemy becomes crippled. If it weren't for the fear of being reported by the netizens in the live stream, I would have sung the whole thing. The bullet screen was flying, on the bus, didn't even have time to turn off the sound. Can the streamer gift me Inferno? I'm a student, identified. This kid really has been driven mad. The suffocating original family is truly deadly. The looks these 3 people gave me also shifted from initial hostility to a mix of sympathy. Dad was utterly confused. Has this child been driven crazy? It's all your fault for being lazy all the time, just playing mahjong. She has to go to school and do housework too. The pressure is too much. Dad quickly shifted the blame, but I remained unmoved. Now that the child is gone, you're all caring. It's like snot reaching your mouth before you know to wipe it off. I frantically yanked at my hair, howling, and did a backbend as I crawled ominously across the living room floor. I spun around, swept through, and smashed all the cheap knickknacks, and while passing by, I gave Gu Yaozu a good old-fashioned smack on the nose. Gu Yaozu covered his face aggrievedly and did not dare to make a sound. Mom was at a loss, scared into screaming, "You're all forcing me, the netizens are forcing me, and now you're forcing me too, I'll just die, okay." I flipped over and pointed at the mess on the floor. Remember to clean up before you go. Then, under their watchful gazes, she calmly walked out the door. The ice is 3 feet thick, not formed in a single day, let alone 3 self-righteous old fogies. When she returned home during mealtime, the kitchen was still cold and empty. As soon as I sat down on the sofa, my mother's curses rang out from behind me. Why are you only coming back now? Do you really think acting crazy means you don't have to work? Do you think those keyboard warriors will back you up? They're just spouting nonsense. I'm your mother. And cooking for me is your duty as a filial child. Don't you remember all the hard work I put in raising you since you were little? It was the same old tactic of moral blackmail. The original owner of this body had nearly collapsed under her daily brainwashing of gratitude, repeatedly boasting about one's own meager achievements, labeling anyone who dares to resist as an ungrateful wretch. Coincidentally, I specialize in treating this ailment and have brought along the perfect remedy. I clasped my head in shock, acting out a scene of utter breakdown. Ah, did I forget? I must have forgotten. What's this? Memory loss spray. Spray once. What's this? Memory loss spray. Spray once. What's this? Mother's silence was filled with resentment. What are you pretending for? Do you want to starve your mother to death? You little brat. I ignored her, casually pulling out a handful of beans from my pocket. She seemed to finally notice what good thing I had hidden and snatched it away in one go. Where did you buy these chocolate beans? She was about to pop one into her mouth. I quickly stopped her. Those are sheep droppings. She was shocked and blurted out, "You little wretch, you almost got me killed." I quickly explained again, "You're so silly. Have you ever seen a wife in a wife cake? It's the same principle." She suddenly understood, grabbed a big handful, stuffed it into her mouth, and chewed carefully. Similarly, there are no eggs in a sheep's dung pellet. First of all, she was the one who took my stuff. Secondly, don't ask me why I put a sheep's dung pellet in my pocket. Her body convulsed violently, and she vomited with a loud wah. A fragrance of grass and wood emanated from her speech. I think you're deliberately trying to get me into trouble. She had originally intended to solve the matter with force. But perhaps she remembered that she couldn't possibly beat me. She could only flee in embarrassment toward the bathroom. When we came out, we looked at each other. Dad and my brother had also returned. She tried to maintain her dignity and continued to shout, "You're just trying to slack off, not even making a meal." Dad also had an attitude of entitlement. "At this hour, the meal isn't ready yet. What are you two even doing?" I asked them. "If I make it, will you eat it?" Mom took out her phone, opened the live stream right there on the spot. "Let everyone see and expose your true nature. You're not as well behaved as they say. You're not even willing to cook a meal. Those netizens say I'm picky, right? I'll go live to prove it. Whatever you cook, I'll eat. It's all their fault, not mine. If I can't finish it, I'll eat shit head first." Dad chimed in enthusiastically. "Exactly, go live. Let's slap their faces and make some money from the live stream too." Guyaozu wore a smug expression. "Yes, yes, yes, make money to buy me sneakers. Why make it so complicated? Haven't they heard the story of the 9-turn large intestine? I will make sure they never forget it." In the living room, they were smug and triumphant. In the kitchen, I was bustling around with a pig's large intestine, high EQ. I intentionally preserved the authentic flavor of the large intestine. I didn't wash the pig manure. Finally, I poured the blanching broth over it. When the dish was served, all three of them almost simultaneously covered their noses. Mom asked me, "Did you eat it yourself?" "Of course not. I'm not stupid," I replied seriously. "Yes, I deliberately retained some of the fishy smell of the large intestine, which is why it's so obvious. But only in this way can you truly taste the authentic flavor of the large intestine." The 9-turn large intestine scheme. 1 scheme, 3 virtuous men harmed. If you don't eat, it proves that you are indeed picky. If you eat, you fall into my trap. A classic modern scheme. In the end, the three of them had no choice but to pick up their chopsticks simultaneously. A single old 6 blew out 3 old 8s. Their expressions instantly turned as if they had all seen their great-grandmother at the same time. They carefully avoided the central position, never expecting that I would use fecal water to finish it off. The netizens were more boiling than an oil pan. "It's a defense. I joined the defense." 1 sentence. "And 3 people are eating defense for me. You, kid, you've got something." I couldn't help but turn to the camera and remind them. Warning to college students, no gifting allowed. "Didn't you say you'd eat whatever I do? If you can't finish, you'll eat it upside down. It's time to prove yourselves." Under my insistence that they finish everything, they had no choice but to comply. Mother had no choice but to promise that she would take over all the cooking from now on. However, I knew that until she fully recognized her mistakes, all her compromises were merely a performance to garner sympathy. When father and my younger brother were out, mother not only refused to cook, even brought a group of aunties to gather at home for a card game. Mom proudly boasted to them, "Do those internet trolls really think I care about their insults? I'm thrilled. That's how I get more attention and become an internet celebrity." Not only did I open my shop window, but I also started live streaming for donations. I made more in one night than I do in a month. As long as they don't report me to the point of getting my account banned, I don't care. Back then, I couldn't even get a single like on a video, but now, I casually post one and it easily gets over 10,000 views. So many people come to appreciate me. I'm thrilled beyond words. The expressions on the aunties' faces were more complicated than the card game. The tens of thousands of netizens' curses couldn't wake her up. She completely ignored sister's grievances, preoccupied only with her own glory. One hand, she proclaims herself a good mother, yet on the other, she fails to see her own educational shortcomings. She disrespects her child, fails to understand them, and treats them as a tool for gaining views, basking in self-satisfaction. If little sister Gu were still in this body, she would likely have to endure not only her mother's 800 videos pretending to be carefree every day. Posting a video might even earn her a scolding. Sorrow, truly sorrowful. I suppressed my anger and asked her, "Didn't you promise that you would do all the cooking from now on? Why do you stop pretending when my dad and brother aren't home?" Mom rolled her eyes. "You ungrateful thing. Really expecting your mother to cook for you? Do I owe you something?" The other aunts chimed in one after another. "Exactly, you don't know how to empathize with your mom. How heartless. A daughter is just a daughter. She'll never be as considerate as a son." In the end, She'll belong to someone else's family. If you ask me, if she doesn't cook, just give her a good scolding. After that, she definitely won't dare to refuse. My mom has become such a master of argument, thanks to the contributions of these aunts. A group of women gather every day, playing cards and dancing in the square, but their friendships aren't necessarily deep. Secretly, they all wish the worst for each other. Yet they still offer advice under the guise of caring for one another. My daughter is so well behaved. And my husband is so wonderful, comparing food, clothing, and treatment, but never comparing one's own quality and demeanor. Seeing me in a daze, my mother shouted at me, "Are you blind? Don't you see the teapot is empty? Hurry up and refill it. It's all your fault for making such a racket, causing me to lose this round. You're going to compensate me, aren't you? Hee hee, you brought this upon yourselves, of course. We have to compensate." I followed my mother's words and said, "I'll go to the kitchen to get the money for you. No one is leaving. They have a clean sweep, and I want a clean table. Dollars, RMB, euros, pounds, baht, francs. There's always one that suits them." As I passed through the living room, I saw one of the auntie's sons tearing up my completed summer homework. The brat saw me and was still throwing a tantrum. I need to pee, or I'll pee on the sofa." "All right, very good." I walked over and patted the brat on the head. "Little friend, could you help your sister with something?" He tilted his head. As I closed the bathroom door, the naughty child was hung on the wall, his mouth stuffed with a sock. I carried the freshly boiled teapot into the room. When my mom saw me just arriving, she started nitpicking again. "Can't you do anything neatly? You can't even cook properly. And now you can't even pour tea right. You're such a pig." I calmly locked the door, walked over, and stood on the mahjong table by stepping on a stool. With one kick, I sent the tile my mom was about to win with flying. She opened her mouth to curse, but amidst the terrified gazes of everyone at the table, I picked up the teapot and started spinning it wildly. The hot tea inside the teapot sprayed out in a beautiful parabolic arc, dousing them. Screams echoed throughout the room. A teapot filled with urine. Spray it on someone, and they'll scream. None of them were a match for me. The aunties panicked and ran around in disarray, unable to open the door and wailing loudly. Little did they know the mahjong table was right in the center of the room, so no matter where they hid, I could still spray them. "What is this? Why is it so pungent? It seems like urine. Your daughter has gone mad." I was like a samurai wielding a Gatling gun, unleashing indiscriminate attacks, my face twisted in a wild grin. "I'm going to take down everyone." When supplies ran out, everyone's head had already been frosted. I stood tall like a martyr ready to sacrifice myself, my head held high. Mom, driven to the brink of madness, incited these ants to call the police and arrest me. "Crazy, you're absolutely insane. I'm going to make sure the police lock you up for a few days." She still tried to justify herself. "This isn't revenge, but saving you. I'm your mother. Would I deliberately harm you?" As soon as the police arrived, I collapsed to the ground, pretending to be dead. The police called out to me a few times before I seemed to wake up from a dream. Then, with a delicate demeanor that suggested I couldn't even take care of myself, I wiped away my tears. "Officer, you're finally here. It's all my mom's fault. She won some money today, but as soon as she started losing, she couldn't take it anymore. She wanted to end the game but was afraid of being criticized. So she told me to deliberately spray them with urine." Mom frantically tried to explain. No, officer, that's not how it happened at all." The police officer sternly reprimanded her. "She's your daughter. Would she deliberately harm you?" I pulled on the police officer's arm, looking utterly wronged. "Officer, please don't blame my mom. They really weren't gambling." My mom said, "Make sure you don't tell the police we were gambling." The police officer glared at them with a dark expression. "Gambling in a group, confiscate the gambling funds, and then go to the police station to pay the fine." On the surface, I was grieving, but secretly, my mouth was twisted with laughter. The other ants' faces were as dark as Bao Qingtian's. One of them pointed at my mother's nose. "I never expected you to be like this." Mother had no words to express her suffering. "I really didn't do it." The others chimed in agreement. "I used to defend you online when everyone was criticizing you. But now I see you deserve it." Exactly. Everyone knows what you're really like. You deserve all the criticism. Your husband doesn't love you, so you take it out on your daughter, as if no one knows. When this was mentioned, it was as if her mother's pride had been pricked. "How dare you talk to me like that? Why do I deserve this? Aren't you exploiting your daughter-in-law too, acting like you're so noble? And you, You're so biased towards boys. You had 5 daughters before finally having a son. What were you thinking? Your husband's out there flirting around, and you think he loves you so much. Oh, what a surprise. So much gossip coming out. I quickly grabbed my mom's phone from the table and started live streaming. The few women were arguing fiercely, and eventually, they started physically fighting, pulling each other's hair. I shouted into the screen, fellow family members, if you've got money, show some support. If not, at least give us a laugh. Originally, they had called the police to have me arrested, but in the end, the gambling gathering turned into an additional case of public fighting. Everyone was taken away, left alone. I savor the boundless solitude. How lonely it is to be invincible. How empty it is to be invincible. When Dad and Guyaozu brought Mom home, they started a live broadcast to condemn me, acting like victims. Mom sobbed uncontrollably. My daughter is a liar. She even hurts her own mother. You've all misunderstood me. She's been tyrannizing at home all along, yet you only blame us. Dad also joined in the lamenting. This generation of netizens just loves being keyboard warriors. You don't know the truth. If it weren't for my mom, that show-off, posting the whole sequence of events online, the netizens might really have been fooled by their portrayal of me as an utterly wicked daughter. The comments, of course, were all blasting them. Oh, is that so? You scolded 3 people at once. Do you want us to praise you for that? At the same time, different voices began to emerge. Many of you netizens haven't been parents, so you don't understand the hardships of being a parent. She's doing it for her daughter's sake. After saying that, she even started giving gifts, drawing everyone's attention. Some parents in the bullet comments began to chime in. Exactly. My child's grades are like that. If you don't knock them down a peg, they get cocky and immediately drop. You have to push them to make progress. As the saying goes, spare the rod, spoil the child. My big face immediately squeezed past my parents, darting in front of the screen, and I started yelling at those voices. What kind of feudal remnants are you? Her brother was the one who showered her with gifts and set the tone. They're cut from the same cloth. As for those parents who think this kind of punitive education is right, I hope you can reflect on yourselves as well. The bullet comments split into 2 factions, starting a heated argument. Mom pointed at me, as if she was completely in the right. You always blame me for scolding you over that one lost point. If I didn't push you harder, how would you ever amount to anything? How would you be remembered by others? People only remember the first place. Do you know what the tallest mountain in the world is? Mount Everest. Exactly. Who remembers what the second highest peak is? K2. She paused for a moment. Even if the second one is known, the third one is, Kangchenjunga. She gritted her teeth. Number 46, Kulakangri Peak. The entire room fell silent. She had nothing to refute, eventually pointing at me and scolding. You remembered that, but why didn't you remember what was in the textbooks? If you had put your mind to studying, you wouldn't have lost that 1 point. What on earth do you keep in your head all day? You remember the unnecessary things. Damn it, I didn't see that coming. So no matter what, she's always in the right. In the end, it's just unreasonable. I let out a cold snort. If you have bubbles in your brain, go pop them. If you have holes, go fill them. If you're sick, go get treated. Reflect on yourself more and blame others less. She put on a heartbroken expression, shedding crocodile tears. I just don't understand what's wrong with you. You weren't like this before. Why are you so abnormal now? I waved my hands, showing my confusion. I used to be the one who was abnormal. What? Someone points out your mistake, and that's called abnormal. Why don't you think about whether it's you who's abnormal? Her tone carried an air of entitlement. I'm your mother. How could I possibly be wrong? I don't care what you think. I care what I think. There are no parents who are not right. To hell with, there are no parents who are not right. Anyone who says that already has problematic parenting. They're just refusing to admit it. She was absolutely livid. So, in front of tens of thousands of viewers in the live stream, we started hurling insults at each other. The result was that the live broadcast room was suspended for a day. What was bizarre was that they actually thought I was possessed by an evil spirit. The shaman was summoned to exorcise me. In the living room, smoke swirled around. Mom confidently told the shaman, my daughter has gone mad. She's sick, constantly spouting nonsense. Use your whip on her later. Drive the little demons out of her body, and she'll be normal again. The shaman glanced at me and nodded. She sang and danced, muttering to herself. Any ordinary child witnessing this scene would be left with psychological scars, no matter how mentally healthy they were. When a child is sick, The parents think he's faking it, when he's not sick. They say he's ill, who is actually the one who's sick. As I listened to the shamans chanting, I quietly moved closer to her. She kept rambling on about the good deeds my parents had done. The more she listened, the worse her complexion became. We danced around each other, advancing and retreating in turn. She started performing her rituals, but somehow ended up directing them at my mother. Mother looked at her in surprise and asked, "What are you doing?" "I invited you here to exorcise her." "Not me," the shaman sighed. "Actually, I've performed rituals for many children, but the most abnormal ones are usually their parents. Many children with depression have their parents as the root cause. So the solution doesn't lie with the child but with the parents." After saying this, she continued muttering to herself. My father rushed forward, pointing his finger at her and shouting, "What are you talking about? Do you believe I'll beat you to death?" The shaman looked at me, and I understood her meaning. We both said in unison, "Look, she's having a fit." Dad still wore that self-righteous expression. "She's my child. I can discipline her however I want. I gave birth to her and raised her. What did I do wrong? Let me tell you. If it weren't for all these netizens watching, I would have beaten her to death by now for defying her parents like this." Finally, he let his true feelings slip. The child was merely an object that should obey him. Mother no longer cared for her scant dignity and openly declared, "I can't stand her smugness, acting like she's so great. I'm his mother. I can curse her whenever I want, without needing any reason. The more they say I'm wrong, the more I'll curse. Those netizens just want to see me apologize. Well, I won't apologize. I'll become an internet celebrity amid their curses, make money, and live a good life." I spread my hands. "There's no cure for this." My father, seeing that he couldn't argue me down, raised his hand to strike me. At the critical moment, my phone rang. He had already been about to act without restraint, but his demeanor instantly softened when he saw the name on the caller ID. When he answered the call, his voice was humble and submissive. "Hello, leader. I apologize for calling so late. Is there something you need to instruct me on?" Unexpectedly, the tone on the other end was very serious. "Shao Gu, not to mention your involvement in superstitious practices. As a father, you have been negligent in your duties. I don't believe you have any sense of responsibility towards the company. Now, complaints from netizens have been flooding into the company. After discussion among our leadership, we've determined that your values do not align with the company's development philosophy. You should resign on your own." He hurriedly tried to explain himself. "No, boss, those netizens are just talking nonsense. I love my daughter so much. How could I possibly be irresponsible? Don't listen to their nonsense. I watched the live stream, and I heard everything you said." Dad froze, then looked up at me, caught, I'm not pretending anymore. I'm laying it all out." I turned and walked to the windowsill, retrieving the spare phone placed there. That's right, after the live stream was unblocked, I logged into this spare phone using my mother's video account and streamed the entire thing live. Their ugliness is now crystal clear to everyone. I raised my phone. Isn't my mom all about chasing popularity, about being famous? Today, I'll let all the netizens see your true faces. Dad was still trying to explain something, but the leader had already hung up the phone. Furious, Dad turned around and accused Mom. "It's all your fault, you show off. You had to go bragging online, and now I've lost my job. At my age, do you expect me to go out and pick up trash?" Mom was caught off guard by the scolding and quickly tried to make amends. "Things aren't that bad, you know. We can ride this wave and become internet celebrities. The money we make might not be less than your job, and who knows? We might even buy a big villa someday." Dad's expression had just started to soften when I turned the phone screen towards them. The words were glaringly obvious. "Permanently banned." The account was reported by angry netizens until it was banned. Oh ho, their path to internet fame has come to an end. The dream of becoming an internet celebrity by riding on my daughter's popularity is over. Dad gritted his teeth and yanked Mom's hair. "It's all your fault. You're good for nothing. Always messing things up." Mom nearly toppled over but managed to break free, screaming at Dad, "And what are you, some saint? How much do you really care about our daughter? If you did, she wouldn't have suffered so much." Neither of them admitted their mistakes and they started fighting each other, bloodied and bruised. The psychic and I stood by, munching on sunflower seeds and watching the fight. In the end, unable to endure any longer, the two of them filed for divorce. Her father lost his job because of this, his spirits plummeting, never again showing the vigor of his former self. Her mother's affair became common knowledge, and the neighbors deliberately distanced themselves from her. Angry netizens even blocked the roads her mother frequently took, throwing rotten eggs at her. She was tormented by online abuse, her face constantly streaked with tears. Gu Yaozu's friends are ashamed of him and have distanced themselves from him. Meanwhile, compassionate individuals sympathize with Gu Xiaomei's plight and propose various forms of assistance. In court, the judge asked me who I wanted to live with. I was just about to give it my all, leaving them with an unforgettable divorce memory. Before I could voice my opinion, I realized I had lost control of this body. I heard a voice that was completely different from mine, gentle and soft. I don't want to go with either of them. I just need them to pay my alimony until I come of age. Both of them are responsible for where I am today. I won't forgive either one. It seems she has returned. At this moment, it's clear she no longer needs me. Gu Xiaomei's response brought silence from both parents, perhaps filled with regret, or perhaps still stubborn, but at least, this girl would no longer allow them to PUA her. She would have a better life. The system's voice was filled with disbelief, taking a break, and the performance target was completed ahead of time. Just as I was still reflecting, a flash of light appeared, and my figure reappeared at the wedding venue. The male lead and my best friend stood on either side, looking at me in confusion. I cupped my hands and blew into them. Then I swung my palm and gave each of them a big smack on the nose, feeling better now. After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.